Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence, and today we're going to take a look at the G.I. Joe Classified Ripper. So this is the fifth of the wave. I'm finally getting to it. I know he started to pop up in other places. Target and everything started getting them. I was on my way to New Jersey on a Thursday when I got a message from Payne's Toy Samples that said, hey, Sergeant Reds has it. And I'm like, hey, I'm in Pennsylvania. I can't get there. I'm not in Detroit. But anyway, John from Sergeant Reds was nice enough to hold one for me. So it's Monday. I picked it up. I'm back from New Jersey down to Baltimore. So here we are. We're going to take a look at this. There we have the wonderful, wonderful packaging of this figure. He looks a lot like the O-ring, as you can see, my original O-ring. And no worries, I fixed the waist on all my dreadnoughts because they were all mixed and matched, because that's what I must have done as a kid. But anyway, here's everything that he has, all his loadout. You see his Jaws of Life, which do open and close. We're going to, hopefully his glasses will be better than what we've seen recently. Here we have the other side artwork. He's holding his knife. There we have a QR code that leads you to... well, no one knows. Anyway, number 102 on the line, and on the back here, all the accessories that he does come with. And again, we're going to take a look at his weapon. And if you don't know, this is actually modeled, and so was the O-ring. This is modeled after Snow Job's gun, which also Alpine's grappling hook was modeled after that same weapon. But they gave him the big bayonet there, and they gave him a magazine. They did change it up a little bit, but it looks like it's going to be the exact same. So anyway, no one wants to look at me anymore. Let's go take a look at this. But before we do, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification so you're notified every time I do drop a G.I. Joe video. And as you guys know, I do a lot, and there's a lot more coming. So let's take a look. All right, so we got Ripper out, and we'll take a look at everything. So here's his coffin, and I said that I didn't know if anyone was going to make a, make a run at Helix, but I gotta say, he looks pretty badass in black and white here. Just being able to look and see the eyes. I mean, the artwork looks absolutely amazing, and just in black and white. This shows up better than the color picture. I really do like this coffin design here, and then we have our locker, which we've discussed. There's 102, Dreadnought Ripper, upside down 102, upside down Cobra. Not discussing that anymore, as it will be gone really soon. So let's take a look at the weapons that he does have. So here is the weapon that I was talking about. And here we can see our OG, and if you look at it there, that is Snow Job's weapon. It has a scope on it. They added a magazine and put that big giant bayonet. But if you didn't know, that is Snow Job's weapon. Just kind of modified. All right. So as you can see, this one is in cardboard. Let's see if it makes it any straighter. And all in all, not that bad. Even the bayonet, I mean, there's a slight curvature to it, I think. Maybe the bayonet is a little, but not too bad. It does feel kind of, it's flimsy, but it seems like it goes back. Again, it is soft, but I can deal with this because it's not a piece of rubber. So let's take a look at this thing here. Let's compare it, because this is what you guys want to see. So do I have a magazine somewhere? There's a really tiny magazine. You pop this thing right in here. And oh, it goes upside. It goes inside there, but it seems kind of loose. Might have to use a little bit of sticky tack. So, to compare the two here, they're pretty much the same. They redesigned it and made it look the exact same. Maybe this is supposed to go backwards, because I wonder how many other people are getting this wrong, because it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. But that's how it's supposed to go, because if you look at the O-ring one, the magazine is thinner at the bottom. So if you're having an issue with this, flip the magazine around. You would actually think that the smaller portion would have gone in. It actually goes the other way, because that is how the O-ring one looks. So quickly looking at it here, they put like a little cross here. You can see where it's supposed to go there. It just doesn't have a cross. Has a very similar sculpt to it. The handle, the stock is all the exact same. It has the big giant bayonet at the front. And again, the gun just looks like the laser rifle, but the design is all there. They just recreated this O-ring version. So anyone that complains that, oh, it's not the exact same, well, this is for sure. Here we have his Jaws of Life. No kids. This is not a jackhammer. And before you think I'm calling anyone out, I thought for years that this was a jackhammer. Now, the original one came with the backpack. This is where people are going to cry that, oh, I don't have a backpack. But again, they created the new style of Jaws of Life that is all battery operated within the actual Jaws of Life. So they're not carrying a whole motor around. Now here's what it looks like closed. This does have a working system. So if we open up one, they open up together. So you're going to be able to get some wonderful shots with this. It does have a handle here. So he's actually going to hold it like this. You're going to open your Jaws of Life. You're going to crunch with your Jaws of Life. It does have a little bit of paint apps here. So this is a silver paint to it. This is painted the same silver. The handle, it's hard to see throughout this, but believe me, it is there. So there's your Jaws of Life. I think they look really nice. It has its softness. This moves back and forth, but again, not in a bad way. I don't have a problem. If this is how the weapons are going to be, good, because this is what we should be getting. Here we have his pistol. We'll quickly look at it. It is straight. I think most people have agreed this is like the worst thing, but it's going to stay in its holster. It kind of has this bayonet to it. It's serrated. It is painted silver, but it's more like a 6-shooter. I don't even know how to explain what this gun would be. It looks like something that should have come with Shipwreck. So, and it reminds me of the early G.I. Joes. Like this is supposed to be for the trigger. It reminds me of the big hole that you would plug in. Then we get the big giant knife. You can obviously use it for like brass knuckles and for fighting and obviously cutting and different things like that. It is straight. It's got paint. Now, just having that little bit of paint adds so much to an accessory where you don't just see all black or all gray. I'm not really sure why they do that with some of them. Now, again, it is soft, but as long as it goes straight again, I don't really care. Isn't that what she said? And here we have the glasses, and we can see the classic red Oakley style. It's going to wrap around. Hopefully these will fit on better than what we have been getting with a lot of the other figures. Now on to the main event, which is Ripper, and we're going to compare him to the O-ring Ripper. Now, one thing I can say that I am glad is that they got rid of the little itty-bitty half shirt. We don't need that. I don't know why football players wear that. I like football too, but I don't understand why we have football players or any men wearing little itty-bitty half shirts. And before someone says, well, women wear them, well, you know what? Women are cute. Anyway, here is our Ripper, and right away we can look at him and tell he's got the camouflage wife beater. Sorry if that offends someone. That is what it is affectionately known as. Instead of having the ripped half shirt, which again, I didn't even notice as a kid, but hey. So let's armor him up really quick. So you got the knife, which is going to slide right up there, and it seems to stay in place. He's got what some people think are dog tags, but what they are is the old style, I'm saying old style, I'm sure you can still find them, razors that are kind of protected. They're rectangles, and you kind of push them out so you can use them that way, or you can put them in a blade. So that's what goes around there. He's got his little tattoo around his eye here. Big giant mohawk. Got a couple grenades here. So right away, T-pose is pretty good. Now I just got him. I'm not heating him up. He does seem to be a little stiff. But pinless joints, so no problem there. Bicep pose. Just be careful. Don't be He-Man. Don't feel like you have to prove a point. But there he goes. He's got the ab crunch that so many people hate. He's not wobbly. Now, there is somewhat of a gap around the waist. Doesn't really bother me, I'm not going to lie. But I did notice it as soon as I opened him up. He does move back and forth. Now, a lot of people get upset because if you spin him completely around, the articulation in the ball joint will break or start to stretch. Now, I don't ever turn my figures like that. They might have a little bit of a turn like this because when I pose mine, I'm posing them in a regular, ideal way that I would move, and I can't move around like that. So that might bother some. It does not bother me. Here's Jean-Claude Van Damme. Thigh swivel. Double pinless knees. No problem. Again, a little tight, but nothing that's... Oh, that one's tight. That one is really tight. So, give a little squeeze. All right, this one is not moving, so I'm going to stop this in a minute. Actually, we will go through this, and when I get to the end and I stop it, I will mention whether or not he moves. Ankle joints. There you go. Everything seems to move fine except for one knee joint, which I have a little bit of an issue moving. But again, don't be He-Man. Warm water, blow dryer, it's not your enemy. It's not something that never needs to be done. So I'm never going to use this gun. It's going to stay holstered. It looks fine with the little knife hanging out the bottom, but yeah. So he's got a tattoo on his shoulder of the Grim Reaper. He's got, I'm not sure what that is, but it does look pretty badass. And then he's got some claws coming down his forearm. You can tell that the elbow is a little bit of a different color, it seems. I know this has been a huge issue with some people. It's very faintly noticeable, but people tend to really get upset about that. Doesn't bother me at all. He has a peg on the back that I'm assuming is going to hold his rifle if you need it like that, if he's going to be walking around with the jaws of life, so he can technically carry everything on his person. Let's take this off here. So, let's compare the two. And first off, we will start off with his little mid-drift shirt that he's wearing. So at the top here, you can see he does have 2 grenades. They gave him 2 pineapple grenades. Now, I know some people don't like the fact that they use the old-style pineapple grenades, but again, this is G.I. Joe, and these guys would probably have something that is, let's just say, not as conventional. You got the knife, which is very similar. All right, now this one here has little notches on it. Someone's probably going to complain this one doesn't, but you can see they just recreated that, but they gave him this shoulder harness, which I like better than making it look like it's connected to his little half shirt. On it, you can see he has, these look more like there may be teeth, but maybe they were supposed to be razor blades. Where here, you have these razor blades. It does move up and down. It kind of gets cut up in his hair, but doesn't look bad. We're going to have to play around with it, kind of get it to lay down. He's got the mohawk. Now, this was more of a flat mohawk. I like that they updated it to a specific point, but he still has the hair around it. And as you know, this one is supposed to go all the way down, so they made it go down so he can kind of get into a ponytail. They put spikes on the top here. They gave him the spike bicep, what would you call it? Bicep, I don't know, bracelet to show off his biceps. His wasn't spiked, but I do remember it being gold. They gave him some gauntlets, which I like. The tattoos are all new. No big deal. They don't bother me. He does have blue jeans. Let's move his arms here. And if we look at the belts, we can see the belts are very similar. So they recreated that. They gave him a chain wallet. If you don't know what this is a chain wallet. Now, They just made it look like it's connecting from one belt loop to the other, but technically there should be a wallet back here. Believe me, I've had many chain wallets in my skateboarding days. Thank you, Matt Hensley. They gave him knee pads because they used someone else's boots, but they gave black boots that look very similar. And rather than them kind of being torn and wrapping around it, it looks like they tuck in more, which I'm fine with because you got to modernize it a little bit. So let's look at his face. This guy looks angry. Looks like I got a little bit of QC issue, but hold on. Let me pull my glasses off and take a look here. No, maybe not. Maybe it's just the look of them. Those teeth are all kind of showing. It's how the mouth, how deep the mouth is, but there's no paint on the teeth that I can tell. Although, like, from these angles, it looks like it. But when you look at them, it doesn't look like it. It's just a shadow. So he's got the teardrop. Obviously, he's killed someone. Nice eyebrows. The eyes do look straight, which is good. I'm going to take these glasses and pop them on. Now, unfortunately, they're not really connecting to the back of his ear. And I think this is where a lot of people tend to have, well, these ones, you know, I guess these ones stretch out enough. Buzzers don't do that. Now, if we look at Ripper here, look at those. We got your eyeglasses. It kind of goes back the same way. I think Ripper looks amazing. Wow. So far, this may be the best looking Dreadnought, and I thought Buzzer looked really good, and Ripper was probably always my third favorite of the three original. So let's get the glasses back on because I can't see. Let's first throw on the Jaws of Life. So pops into his hand real easy. Reach over. Look at that. We can move this here. And open that hand. Pop this on. And right away, we're able to get him into a Jaws of Life motion. Now, is he opening a his tank? Is he attacking something else that someone is hidden in? As we can see, we're going to open it up, and everything looks really good. Now, let's take his actual weapon. He's got his trigger finger. We're going to throw this bad boy on here. And I don't feel like I'm going to bend the weapon. Like, I'm not worried about it bending. Now, getting the trigger finger in seems a little difficult. There we go. So these grenades are definitely going to be in the way. You're going to have to do some maneuvering to get them in a good shooting position. And you're going to want to use some sticky tack or something to hold the magazine in, or you're going to end up losing it. But right away here, I'm going to get him in a position. Now, he just put some stress on it, so you're going to have to play around with it a little if this much of a curvature bothers you. But that's just due to how soft the plastic is and just where I have his hand. So once we make some adjustments, it will look perfectly fine and be straight. So there we go. Look at that. Ripper. And, well, doesn't take much. As you know, I do not extend, so there we go. Perfect shot. I've been trying not to cough this whole video. So there he goes. I know a lot of people have a complaint with this here. Sometimes you're going to see this kind of pop up on some of the figures. Low Light has it. It just is showing off the articulation, and that's how they cut it. So you get a bigger range of motion. But again, a lot of people really don't like it. I didn't even notice it until people started hitting me up about Shipwreck. So there you go. That is our Ripper review, and I'm glad to add him to the Dreadnoughts. All right, so my final first thought on Ripper is way more impressed than what I was expecting. As I said, when it came to the Dreadnoughts, I believe he was like my third of And my third favorite of the original three. I always like Torch the most. I always like Buzzer. Ripper came in right behind it. But this one is awesome. I actually like him better just quickly looking at him. Everything is really good. Yeah, someone may complain about the waist. I get it. Knee joint was a little tight. I did have to hit it with a little bit of heat with the blow dryer. But other than that, really, really good. The glasses actually do fit on better than the other figures that we've been getting. So I do like it. And again, I'm okay with the weapons being the durometer that they're at. It's soft, but as you can see, they're straight, unlike some of the other weapons. So these things are showing up. I got this at my local store, Sergeant Red's, but keep an eye out, man. They're going to be all over the place really soon. All right, so there you have it. That is my Ripper review. Again, I think the classified line keeps knocking it out of the park. They are not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. I will not say that there have never been any QC issues. There are some QC issues, and we've discussed it. We've discussed also what's not the QC, but with this one here, I'm really happy with. If this is the way they continue to go, listen, understand when it comes to a lot of different things that you're going to find is that everyone has a phone, has a camera on their phone. Everyone has access. So anytime there's something that goes wrong on any figure or anything in general, it's not just toys, it's anything. Someone's going to take a picture and they're going to shoot it out there. You always hear the bad first. You don't always hear the good, but you always hear the bad. So, listen, my opinion may differ from yours, and my experience may be different than yours, but when I do my reviews, I'm going to give you an honest take of what I'm actually saying. So, do I think this figure is good? I really do. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, but before I do, the social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, A Punk with Toys, the Facebook group page, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. And last but not least, I may itch here. If you like the content that I'm giving you, take a second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, because every single sub does count. I just went over 3,000. We are shooting for 4,000, obviously, because 4,000 comes after 3. And we're going to hit it by the end of, easily by the end of 2024. As we're going into 2024 right now. Anyway, I don't know why I told you that. Sometimes I just ramble on. But I'm going to get out of here. But before I do, don't go anywhere. You stayed this long and you like the content that I'm giving you. Up here, I'm going to throw the Buzzer video. And down here is the playlist of all the other classified videos that I've done. Take care. Have a wonderful day.